A great fourth quarter shaping out here in Boston as UMass Boston trailing by 2 to Castleton, and UMass Boston has battled all evening long, and now with a chance here to really cut in this Castleton lead. We've gone back and forth here in this fourth quarter, a few different lead changes. UMass Boston had the lead here in this fourth quarter, but it has been, again, a back and forth game thus far. 7 lead changes to this point. And again, the shooting has not been great for either side, but so far they've gotten it done just enough, have the Castleton Spartans. As Staples now has it. They go over to Dixon. Dixon penetrating down the middle of the lane and missed the layup. Lesor grabs the miss. And Castleton might try and kill some clock here on this possession. Swing to Toomey. Now Wilcox. Looking to go inside, does to Toomey, and boy, has she come up big as she scores another bucket. Toomey has the last 4. It's 46-42. And Caitlin Toomey, the Castleton Spartan, nearing a double-double with her numbers. Grossi towards the rim. Skip pass, Mazik, she'll try the mid-range. Off the back rim, Grossi grabs the miss, and she is fouled. She'll go to the line. And once again, UMass Boston has a chance to cut it to a one-possession game with still a lot of time left. And it's big if you can hit these free throws here, because then you'll have a good chunk of time remaining. The shot clock obviously still there as well. Free throw up and good by Grossi. And Grossi with point number 16 on the game for UMass Boston. For Castleton, with that last bucket, Toomey now a double-double, 10 rebounds and 12 points in the game for Toomey. Next free throw from Grossi is up and good. We're back to a 2-point game. Raish brings it up. UMass Boston bench standing, trying to get their team into it. 1:05 to go. Swinging around the arc, Quenville. 10 on the shot clock. Lesur with it. Back to the near side. Inside, it's Toomey. And she walked with it. It's a traveling violation on Caitlin Toomey. They tried to go back to the hot hand, but good defense there from Grossi. And now with 53 seconds to go, UMass Boston a chance to tie or take the lead. Mazik with it. Trying to penetrate down the lane, kicks it out to Dixon. Dixon, she drives into a couple of green jerseys, and she travels with it. Back-to-back turnovers. And now a timeout's going to be taken by Castleton, and this one definitely to advance the ball here. There's 40.9 remaining in the game. So Castleton now will have the basketball, and a 10-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock here. And for UMass Boston, they will try and get a stop and get the basketball back. And, of course, the men's game coming up shortly following this one. Both teams already out here on the floor, just tossing the ball around, getting loose. Once again, those two teams coming off of losses in Little East Conference play. Trying to rebound here at home are the UMass Boston Beacons. And on the women's side, right now trying to rebound as well. Again, they trail by 2 with 40.9 to go. Quenville will inbound. Lesur with it. Goes inside to Toomey. She's got an open lane on the left side. Missed the layup, no good. Rebound is grabbed by Grossi, and now Staples brings it up. Staples to the near side to Mazik. And a timeout is going to be taken here by Coach Baugh. So a timeout taken by UMass Boston. They trail it by 2. And a big play in this game for UMass Boston, the biggest offensive possession thus far. UMass Boston has battled and battled and battled in this game. And finally here in this fourth quarter, they were able to overcome some of their offensive woes. For Joey Grassi, she's got 17 points in this game. She's the only UMass Boston player in double figures. For Castleton, 3 of them in double figures, including Raish, who's now 2 rebounds away from a double-double. Toomey, who has a double-double at 12 and 10. And then Quenville, who has 4 threes with 12 points in this game. So UMass Boston trailing by 2 with the basketball. Will inbound it here. Dixon gets it into Staples. Swings it to Mazik. Mazik goes up on the right side and scores! UMass Boston has tied the game at 46. A timeout is going to be taken by Castleton. A 30-second timeout. And the biggest bucket of the game by Mazik. For Mazik now, she has 6 points on 3 of 11 shooting. 8 points now on 4 of 12 shooting. So a huge bucket there by the guard for UMass Boston. And right now, overtime looming for either one of these sides. Castleton has the basketball, but UMass Boston has forced some turnovers, and wouldn't that be a big time for the Beacons to force one right here? A tie game between UMass Boston and Castleton. Right here on the Beacon Broadcast Network, we thank you for joining us once again. If you're joining us here, stay tuned for the men's game, which will follow directly following this conclusion of the women's game. Tip-off is there at 7:30. Here's the inbound. Lesser with it. She'll bring it across. 12 seconds now. They look to go inside. Can't find anybody. Gets it off. Raish towards the rim. Goes up. And it's an offensive foul. Brooke Raish dribbled right into about 3 or 4 Beacons. And it's an offensive foul with 4.8 to go. And Coach Ball is going to take a timeout to advance the basketball here. And UMass Boston will have a chance to win it. That was very close to that restricted area, but the official was right on it and saw that, in fact, UMass Boston had stayed out of the restricted area. And again, there were 3 or 4 white jerseys around. A very out-of-control take there by Brooke Raish. And just like that, UMass Boston not only gets the ball back, but they'll have a chance with 4.8 to go. So the Beacons will have a great opportunity, and still, that's time for a dribble, maybe come off a screen. So the Beacons will have a good opportunity to get a look and have plenty of time to do so. Joey Grassi will inbound it. Leading scorer thus far for the Beacons. Dixon gets the basketball. 3 seconds. Turns, spins, in the lane, goes up. It's no good, and we head to overtime. Castleton and UMass Boston tied at 46. The Beacons can't get it to fall, and we head to an extra period. We'll step aside. We come back. We'll have the overtime for you right here at the Clark Athletic Center on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Hi, my name is Carl Joseph. I'm currently a criminal justice major. I'm a senior. I am from Brockton, Massachusetts. In basketball, I play small forward / power forward, and in track, I'm a high jumper. Basketball has always been my first love. The favorite part was probably our win over MIT. Like that was tremendous. I almost came to tears just from where the program has come from when I first came here to where we are now. It's just amazing, and I love it. Honestly, I was recruited for basketball. My high school coach actually emailed the track coach here, and she walked into the gym one day and it was just like, here, you, come talk to me. And I was on the track team. It really wasn't much of a choice. It was a great honor my freshman year, just being able to become an All-American, finishing 4th in my first ever national championship meet. It was quite the time of my life. My junior year, we received our LEC championship rings from our sophomore year. And coming in into my freshman year at UMass, I was able to witness the volleyball team win their championship and the soccer team, and the only thing that I really wanted was a ring of my own.
Here's Joseph knifing through.
Funny thing is, I actually work here as well. I am one of the Zamboni drivers to our men's and women's hockey teams, and that's what I do for part-time.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. I'm Elijah Gonzalez, and we're just about set for tip-off here to begin overtime between UMass Boston and Castleton, tied at 46. And the tip-off is won by the Spartans in green. The men's team, they came out ready to get going for warm-ups, but they'll have to wait an extra 5 minutes. Lazur with it. Back to the top of the arc. Now it's Quenville into the corner. Trying to go inside to Toomey. Now she'll have to work off a screen down to the corner. And they turned it over. The other way come the Beacons. Layup is up. It's no good. Rebound is grabbed by Lazur, and that one is going to be a foul on UMass Boston. The Beacons with a golden chance. And it's going to go on Quinones. So she picks up the foul after the missed layup. And UMass Boston still tied at 46, but it's been just a tough night overall for both these teams shooting the basketball. Lazur with it. Trying to go to Raish. It's turned over. The other way, here comes Masick. Opportunity on a layup, and she lays it in with the left hand. UMass Boston in front by 2 to begin the overtime period. Masick was not going to miss that one. After UMass Boston had just missed a layup in transition, now a 3 on the way. Rattles in and out, no good. Grassi grabs the miss, and UMass Boston will slow it down here. Just over 3 minutes to go in the overtime frame. To the top of the arc, Dixon. They go inside Grassi. Right side, it's good, lay in. A 4-point lead for UMass Boston. Beacons with their largest lead here in the second half. Swing to Quenville. Thought about the 3. Pump faked and held it up. To the corner with Raish. 10 on the shot clock now as she comes off the screen. And a timeout is going to be taken here. A 30-second timeout by head coach Tim Barrett. So Castleton trailing by 4. Again, they trailed their largest deficit here in this second half. And it comes in overtime with 3:05 to go. And right now, for Castleton, they have been stymied offensively. A pair of turnovers. Only one has resulted in a bucket, but still 2 great chances in transition that UMass Boston has had here. With that last layup for UMass Boston by Masick, she goes into double figures. She's got 10 on the night. And Grassi now just a point away from hitting 20 on the night. But right now, Castleton with the basketball. There'll only be 9 seconds on the shot clock. So that's what they'll have to work with. Now inside, it's Raish. She lays it up, can't get it to go. And UMass Boston grabs the basketball, and Masick will slow it down. UMass Boston in front by 4. Dixon looking to set the screen. They give it off to her now. Trying to go inside to Grassi. Triple team there, and that's a foul going to go on Toomey. UMass Boston will go to the free throw line. They're in the bonus. So Grassi will head to the free throw line, and that will be all for Caitlin Toomey. Her 5th personal foul. And she'll have to check out of this game, and Tim Barrett doing as all great coaches do. They will wait until the last moment, and he'll put in Anna Iannati that will come in. Here's the free throw set to come from Grassi. That one's up and good. The free throw shooting for UMass Boston down the stretch has been pretty solid. A couple of misses, but not a ton. And there is one, though, right there by Grassi, a big one. Keep this at a 5-point game. Sir gives it off. Here's Raish. Top of the arc, they swing it around. Castleton, again, they have struggled to get anything going offensively. They get it to Quenville. Quenville towards the rim, kicks it out. Raish thought about the three. Puts it on the deck. Step back three. In and out, no good. Rebound there and grabbed by UMass Boston. And that one from Raish would have been a big bucket for Castleton. They couldn't get it to fall. And probably her most difficult shot of the evening with the step back. 5-point game to the corner with Dixon. 10 on the shot clock. Crossover, spin, kick out. Quinones jumper, no good. And grab there by LeSueur, comes up the floor. Gives it off to Raish. And Castleton, once again, they'll slow it down, still plenty of time. To the corner, Raish now. Comes off the screen. Back out top, Quenville a three. Short of everything, and that's gonna go out of bounds back to UMass Boston. That is a very rare miss there from Quenville, who has 12 points on 4 3-pointers. She's taken a lot tonight, but that one very well contested by UMass Boston. Mazik looking to come off the screen, turns it down. Grossi tried to go over on the far side. It was knocked away. And it will stay UMass Boston basketball. 13 seconds to go on the shot clock. Grossi baseline drive, gives it off. Quinones kicks it out, jumper on the way. Williams, it's good. UMass Boston by 7. That could be a huge dagger to Castleton. 7-point game. They tried to get it off, turnover. Dixon the other way, she lost the basketball. LeSueur with it. 35 seconds to go. Tight defense here by the Beacons. And we'll get a foul here on Mazik. And Coach Ball is not happy with the official. That one might have been a little bit touchy there. And it will send Castleton to the free throw line. So LeSueur will go to the foul line. First one on the way. It's good. Castleton back to a 6-point game. So LeSueur will go one more time. Castleton, you'd expect they're going to foul at some point. Second free throw is up and good, and a timeout is going to be taken here by UMass Boston. So the Beacons will take a timeout with 31 seconds remaining here in this overtime frame. We were tied at 46 at the end of regulation. Since then, Castleton has totaled just 2 points. And UMass Boston, they've come out in a big way as they were able to put up 7 points here in the overtime period, including a couple of transition baskets, a couple from the free throw line for UMass Boston. And now barring a 5-point comeback by Castleton, men's team will hit the floor next after this overtime period has concluded. They'll get loose and ready for their action coming up against Castleton on the men's side of things. Grossi will inbound here. Trying to find Mazik, now gets it into Staples, and she's fouled by Quenville. So Staples will go to the line. She'll look to try and knock down 2 of 2 here and really stretch this advantage. 5-point game. Staples' free throw is up, and that one is good. Not the foul shooter that you want to foul if you're Castleton. Staples has been very good from the line so far this year. Second free throw is up and good. And it's now a 55-48 lead for UMass Boston. So LeSueur will bring it up Castleton taking a long time to get a shot up here. Quenville will try a three from the top of the arc. It's no good. Paulino grabs the miss, and this should do it. UMass Boston. A tough, gritty performance in the second half, and they're able to get it done here in overtime. The Beacons, 55-48 winners over top of the Castleton Spartans. An impressive win after a second half in which they battled back and then in the overtime frame took over during that overtime period. UMass Boston, they finished shooting 31% from the floor. Castleton, they shoot 34.5% from the floor in this contest. And UMass Boston now moves to 6-1 on the year and 2-1 in Little East Conference play. Castleton, they fall to 5-3 and 1-2 in Little East Conference play. We'll step aside. We come back. We'll have more coverage for you right here. UMass Boston victorious over at Castleton on the women's side on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
This has been a year of growth for me, but more importantly, a year of growth for the University of Massachusetts. When I originally was elected to the position, I said that this was my dream job. It's an opportunity to lead a great university, a university that has dramatic impact. A lot has happened. It's been an exciting year. We have had record enrollment. We've had record selectivity. The quality of the students attending the University of Massachusetts has never been stronger. In terms of fundraising, when I was inaugurated as a new president, we raised $1.6 million. It's more money that has ever been raised at any public university inauguration in the history of Massachusetts. We've put $20 million more into financial aid so the students will be able to get the financial assistance that they need. We're interacting with business and industry really across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, trying to get an understanding from them of what skills they're looking for in terms of who they want to hire to make sure the University of Massachusetts are addressing those needs. I feel energy. I feel that people recognize the fact that we're headed in the right direction and they want to be part of it too. I've had so many parents come up to me and talk about their son or daughter. And I remember talking to a parent who had immigrated from Cambodia, and literally tears in his eyes as his daughter is graduating. Those stories are just over and over and over through all of our 5 campuses. There's an indisputable momentum that the University of Massachusetts has right now. All you have to do is visit the campuses and see the quality of the students, the quality of the faculty, and see the enthusiasm. We've made an awful lot of progress. But I can tell you after 1 year, I think of what Dr. King said about a sense of urgency, and that sense of urgency is now. I'm committed to making sure that we keep this momentum going.
Hello and welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. The UMass Boston Beacons, they get it done in overtime as they get the win over the Castleton Spartans. I'm Elijah Gonzalez, and now joined by Coach Ball. Coach, you talked about at halftime trying to find your rhythm and getting your rhythm. In the second half, did you feel like your team played a little bit better offensively at all?
No, I don't, but we defended like hell, man. We finally bought into the game plan and started to execute that. So, you know, hold a team like this that really shoots the ball well. I thought we defended the three-point line well. We got big stops when we needed to. And we talk a lot about time and score, and I thought we did a better job in the fourth quarter of recognizing time and score, when to go, when not to go. And I think the fourth quarter we finally found that offensive rhythm, but we really got it done from the foul line today.
And Coach, you talked about the offensive rhythm in the fourth quarter, and then that overtime period, you guys really seemed to come out, especially with a lot of momentum. What did you like out of your team in that overtime frame?
In the overtime, you look in their eyes as a coach and you kind of know, I thought we were locked in, and it was score, stop, score, and I thought we were able to do that and limit them to one shot. And we just finally bought into the game plan. So I'm happy to get out of here. It's a great team. They're coached well. They execute very well. I didn't know if we need to go to zone or not. They just execute their stuff, so they're really solid, but really proud of my team tonight. We grew up a little bit today.
And Coach, you have a couple of more games coming up, and then you'll have that big break right before the holiday season. What is the key going into that break? Obviously, it's a long stretch where you won't play any games. What's the key getting that rhythm before you get into that long break?
I think we'll get it back, just getting back to practice. We had a great practice yesterday, so being on the road and we're young, coming back home, a lot of distractions. So I'm excited to go back on the road on Saturday.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Coach Baugh, the UMass Boston Beacons. They get it done here at home in the LEC home opener. We'll step aside. We come back. We'll have some highlights for you. UMass and the UMass Boston men's game coming up momentarily on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Staples penetrates, lays it in. Terrific move by UMass Boston. Right now working in a 2-3 zone. Quenville three-pointer, and that's how you take Grassi inside Williams on the block. Help down, and that leaves Grassi open, and she knocks it home. A couple of misses. Castleton has done a good job getting back defensively, and inside Williams fouled and the bucket. Has to swing it around the arc. They get it back to her. She'll try a three, and she knocks it down. Here by Meg Dixon. The other way, she almost lost the basketball. Gets it to Grassi, though, and lays it in. It's now being applied by the Beacons. Here's Raish towards the rim. Fouled, lays it up, and one for Brooke Raish. Boston will see if they can get it back on this possession. Mazik, nice crossover to the rim, and lays it home. Good. Grab by Williams on the offensive rebound. She goes up. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound. Grassi puts it in, and the game. Lesor goes inside to Toomey, and a nice pass to Perry, who scores it. Dixon gets it into Staples. Swings it to Mazik. Mazik goes up on the right side and scores. UMass Boston is tough to find anybody. Gets it off. Raish towards the rim, goes up, and it's an offensive foul. Line drive, gives it off. Quinones kicks it out. Jumper on the way. Williams, it's good. UMass Boston by. Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. I'm Elijah Gonzalez. The UMass Boston Beacons, they get it done here at home in the Little East Conference opener as they defeat the Castleton Spartans on the women's side. Men's side coming up momentarily, but first we do have some stats that come from tonight's contest on the women's side. And well, you heard Coach Baugh. She didn't think her team shot the basketball particularly well, but they were able to get it done defensively in this game. They forced 22 turnovers in the contest. Also had 44 rebounds in the ball game, did UMass Boston. Able to really pull away in the overtime frame as they get the win here by a final score of 63-52 over top of Castleton. Taking a look at the team leaders from this contest, and we talked about what needed to happen for UMass Boston with a couple of players out, and it was Joey Grassi who stepped up. 20 points in the contest. Meg Dixon also with 10 rebounds on the glass as well. Mazik also with 10 points in the ball game for UMass Boston. A couple of other players with a few steals, but Mazik with a big steal to open overtime and get UMass Boston in front during that frame. For Castleton, it was Brooke Raish, 16 points in the ball game. Quenville and Toomey, they combined for 12 each, and then Caitlin Toomey also with a double-double in this ball game. She had 12 points and 10 rebounds in the contest for Castleton. So for Castleton, they did a terrific job in battling in this game, but UMass Boston, the fourth quarter and overtime, were able to take over and find a way to pick up the win. Well, that'll do it for our broadcast here from the Beacon Broadcast Network. Once again, our final score, UMass Boston win it by a final score of 63-52. For our entire broadcast crew, I'm Elijah Gonzalez saying so long. Stick around for the game coming up between the UMass Boston Beacons and Castleton Spartans on the men's side. We'll step aside and we'll have that action for you. But for our entire broadcast crew on the women's side, I'm Elijah Gonzalez saying so long. Have a great night, everybody. Hello and welcome inside the Clark Athletic Center here in Boston, Massachusetts, as the Castleton Spartans and UMass Boston Beacons get set for battle here inside the Clark Athletic Center. We thank you for joining us inside of our broadcast. I'm Elijah Gonzalez here with you for all the action. UMass Boston and Castleton both coming off LEC losses. This is the first meeting ever between these two teams. Of course, the first ever LEC meeting between these two teams as well, after Castleton was not in the conference just a season ago. We take a look at the numbers on the year for both of these teams, and you see the numbers for UMass Boston and Castleton pretty even in a good chunk of categories. The only category a little bit of a difference, the rebounding margin for UMass Boston much higher at 13.8. Castleton, they're sitting at just 2.6 out rebounded a game, and the turnovers right around the same mark in points per game. UMass Boston, another team that like to get out and run a little bit as well. So for the Beacons, we'll see if they can do that here this evening. Take a look at some of the team leaders for both of these teams, and we look at what has transpired so far this year for Michael Boyd. It's been another impressive season for him. Mark Monroe inside has been another key piece to this Beacons offense. He's shooting 63.6% from the floor. One of the guys that has been very solid as one of the numbers in the country that is very high as well. Dason Sinelli has also done a tremendous job from the foul line, shooting 83.3% in that regard. Rebounding, Lorquette and Nunez have been the two players on the glass that have been crucial for the Beacons. Lorquette down low, one of the freshmen that has really stepped up for this Beacons team. You take a look at Castleton, and Tank Roberson has been the guy that they have run through. So Tank Roberson definitely going to be a guy to watch here tonight for this Castleton team, and what he's done a tremendous job of so far, especially at that guard position, also averaging 7.3 assists per game so far this year. And for Castleton as well, it's been Igor Almeida that has done a great job on the glass, 6.7 in the rebounding department for Castleton so far this year. Also looking out for Casey Belade. He's done a good job shooting the ball from beyond the arc, so we'll see what he can bring to the table here tonight for Castleton. Take a look at the matchup between our two players to watch here tonight. One of them, of course, we mentioned him a little bit at the top, Malik Lorquette. 5.3 points a game, also has 7.8 rebounds, but the number that stands out, 4.8 on the offensive glass. So a guy that really will be a force down low for UMass Boston and will need to be if they want to get the win here tonight against the Castleton Spartans. On the flip side, it's Richard Walker, 10.1 points a game. His offensive ability continuing to rise, especially with the numbers that he's put up in the field goal percentage department, 56% from the field so far this year. Rebounding wise, 5.7 rebounds so far on the year and averaging just about a block a game. So both these guys down low. Should be a fun matchup to watch these two guys battle it out here this evening. We take a look at the coaches, and first we start with the Castleton coach, Paul Colpo. His 10th season, he's led Castleton to their first and only NAC title. That one came all the way back in 2011-2012. So, two guys that, again, we talk about for Colpo, a veteran guy who has seen the success of Castleton. Also a guy that's been here at UMass Boston, a little bit of a homecoming for him, served as an assistant under Charlie Titus when he was here as the head coach of the UMass Boston Beacons. Take a look at the UMass Boston Beacons and their head coach as well, in Jason Harris, his 4th season, and a guy who has been a very big staple in trying to turn this UMass Boston program around and put them in the right direction, and of course led them back to back-to-back LEC semifinals, trying to get to that elusive Little East Conference final. Of course, that a rough start to the LEC season so far this year at 0-2, but as everybody knows, it's a very long season, and UMass Boston showed that, especially down the stretch just a season ago. We'll step aside. We come back. We'll have the starting lineups for you right here from the Clark Athletic Center. You're watching the Beacon Broadcast Network here in Boston.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. I'm Elijah Gonzalez. Just a few minutes away from tip-off here between UMass Boston and Castleton. We take a look at the starting lineups for both teams, and of course we highlighted Richard Walker, but Tank Roberson, another guy that will play a vital part, especially in the backcourt for Castleton. He will be in the starting lineup at the point guard position, and of course one guy who's shot 100% so far from the free throw line this year, and Ben Maroka, who will be in the starting lineup as well for Castleton here in this ball game. He goes along with Calvin Carter and Eric Shaw to be in the lineup for Castleton to start this contest here tonight. And now it's time for the UMass Boston starters, and we'll let them introduce themselves here on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Malik Lorquette, freshman center, Sharon, Massachusetts.
Javaris Hill, freshman forward from UMass.
Charlie Mitchell, sophomore, point guard, Roxbury, Mass.
Charles Mitchell, sophomore, shooting guard, Boston, Massachusetts.
Malik Lurquette, freshman center, Sharon, Massachusetts.
So the Beacons starting lineup you just saw there on your screen, and the UMass Boston Beacons here looking for a win, their first conference win on the season. Somebody tonight will get that first conference win, that elusive win. So we take a look at the keys to the game for both of these teams, and first we start for UMass Boston being able to assert themselves on the glass. Again, this is a team in Castleton that struggles in that department, and a UMass Boston team that has a lot of success on the glass as well. And when they've won a lot of the games this year, they have been able to do that so far on the season. Of course, for UMass Boston, it was a tough start for both of those LEC conference games that they lost, looking to get off to a much better effort here in the beginning of this one as well. And for UMass Boston, they've had a lot of success when they've been able to spread it around, get a lot of production out of a few different guys, and we'll see if they're able to capitalize on that this evening. So we'll see if UMass Boston can get that done as well. Our keys to the game here on the Beacon Broadcast Network. We'll step aside one more time. When we come back, we'll have the opening tip for you right here on the Beacon Broadcast Network. UMass Boston and Castleton coming up next.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Hello and welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Elijah Gonzalez here. As the UMass Boston Beacons and Castleton Spartans get set for tip-off, and Castleton will win the opening tip, and we are underway here inside the Clark Athletic Center. It's Tank Roberson that has it as he works his way up the floor. Castleton coming in, again, a team that has lost their first two conference games. Walker's shot was blocked. Roberson has it in the corner, 10 on the shot clock. Skip pass. Thought about the three there with Shaw. Now he'll have to just fire it up there and missed everything. And now quickly come the Beacons the other way. It's Charlie Mitchell over to his brother Charles. Swings it back to Sanchez now around the arc. Castleton starting out in a 3-2 zone here. Kind of spreading it out, making this UMass Boston team try and work inside. There they go in. Javaris Hill, no good. Rebound is grabbed there. And it will be quickly brought up the floor after Calvin Carter snatched down the miss. Roberson towards the rim. He'll swing it back out and a turnover. For Castleton, coming in at 3-4 and 0-2 in Little East Conference play. This is their first ever season in the Little East Conference, and they'll look for that first Little East Conference win ever here tonight. Swing around the arc. Mitchell inside. Lorquette goes up on Walker. He's fouled. He'll go to the line. The freshman out of Sharon, Massachusetts, has been excellent for UMass Boston, coming in and filling a big void after the departure of one of the best rebounders in the Little East Conference just a season ago. So now a free throw up and good from Lorquette. Lorquette, so far this year, the leaders in rebounds. It's 7.8 on the year. He knocks down both, and UMass Boston has the early lead. Both these teams applying a lot of pressure in that back court, making sure that these guards are going to be able to handle it as Roberson goes into the high post to Walker. Swinging around, and there's a turnover. Other way comes Charlie Mitchell, lays it in. Quick transition bucket. UMass Boston leads by 4. Here's a 3 on the way. That one is money from beyond the arc, and it comes off the right hand there of Maroka. So Maroka for 3, and now Castleton down by 1. Lorquette kicks it out. They swing it. Here's Mitchell, another jumper. He got it. Heating up early is Charlie Mitchell. It's back to 3. Roberson drives, kicks, and threw it away. No look pass. He was trying to go down low there for Walker and just went right over top of Walker's hand. Wasn't really looking for it. So now Mitchell trying to work through this 1-2-2 press. A lot of teams have started to apply it, and there's a turnover. And you see why. Roberson goes over to Calvin Carter and might have had one pass too many. Carter comes up shaky, and UMass Boston quickly in transition. Sanchez will have to slow it down. Go to Lorquette. Hands off. Here's a 3 on the way. Off the back rim, no good there for Charles Mitchell. And back the other way comes Castleton. And there's another turnover. It's been a barrage of turnovers for Castleton to start this game. And now Charlie Mitchell down the lane. He might have turned it over, keeps it in. Lorquette dives on the floor. And now a timeout is going to be taken. So before Richard Walker fell onto that baseline, a timeout was burned there by Castleton. Castleton trailing by 3. Here to open this half. We'll step aside on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Elijah Gonzalez here with you. A 6-3 lead for UMass Boston. An inbound comes, and they get it out to Roberson. He swings it. Couple of substitutions in for Castleton. Richard Walker able to float on the right side and score. So Walker puts it in. Castleton now trying to cut into that UMass Boston lead, but it's been a lot of their turnovers early that have made them struggle and be stifled a little bit. It's ball in the hands now of Charles Mitchell. Now it's Sanchez. He goes in. Javaris Hill. Hill trying to back down Walker and scores. Beautiful move with the left hand by Hill. And now a steal by Sanchez. He puts it in and scores. 2 buckets in a row quickly for UMass Boston off the turnover on the inbound. And now Tank Roberson, nice pass inside, and that one is going to be a bucket and an easy one for Igor Almeida. So Almeida gets his first bucket of the game, and you see what can happen in that press as Hill misses that one. And quickly now comes Walker the other way. Walker drives in, and we'll have a blocking foul. That one's going to go on Charlie Mitchell. That'll be his first of the contest. And that's the team's first as well. And now Kevin Nunez will check in, but not before we have a media timeout. UMass Boston in front by 3. Here to start this one after the first media. You'll step aside on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Elijah Gonzalez here with you. UMass Boston leading by a score of 10-7 here in the opening quarter. Beacon's looking to try and get in that win column in the Little East Conference play. UMass Boston started the year at 4-0, but of course had to face 2 of the better teams in the conference, including a team in Keene State who has been very superb throughout these last couple of years. And right now this season it's been led by Ty Nichols, who's averaging over 27 points a game. Free throw no good by Walker. That's a very talented bunch is Keene State, and one that averages right around 90 points a game. You don't see that one often at this Division III level, as that free throw's up and good from Walker, but a lot of those teams that make the national top 25, they like to get up and down and run. And Keene State, one of those teams, as Boyd is checked in. They go inside to Hill, and he scores. Great pass from Charlie Mitchell on the outside to the interior. Mark Monroe getting sent to check in for UMass Boston. They get it to Tank Roberson. Kicks it out. Almeida, 2-pointer, got it. A deep 2 for Igor Almeida. And his first 2 shots have found the bottom of the cup. Boyd looking to go inside. They bring it back out. Now here's Mitchell. Back out top to Boyd. 10 on the shot clock. Boyd will try a 3. Off the front rim, no good. Boarded by Almeida. Roberson, a couple of fancy dribbles, kicks it out. 3-pointer on the way, but not before stepping out of bounds there was Chris O'Brien, the senior out of East Providence, Rhode Island. And it'll go right back to UMass Boston. Mark Monroe checking in for Javaris Hill as he comes into the contest. 2-point lead for the Beacons. Mitchell penetrates, floats, no good. Kicked out by Nunez, 3 on the way, and no good off the back rim. Nunez, though, on the offensive glass, no good. Mitchell trying to fly in there, but it's taken away by Roberson. Roberson down the lane, and we've got a jump ball, a terrific play on the back tap that comes from Charles Mitchell that time. And it'll go to UMass Boston. So Charlie Mitchell checks out, and back in comes Alex Sanchez. Michael Boyd hands it off. Still in that zone is Castleton. They've moved it to kind of more of a 2-3 look. So they go into the high post, kick it out. Mitchell thought about the 3. Now Boyd, pump fake, 1 dribble, pull up, and he's fouled. Chris O'Brien will pick up the foul here. And it will be Boyd that will head to the line for 2. Michael Boyd leading this team in points per game at 12.7 on the season. The first free throw's up and good. For UMass Boston, this is a team that does not score the ball all that much in conference. They're sitting at 6th in the conference in that regard, and this is one area where Coach Davis definitely wants to see some better abilities from the line. Coach Harrison wants to see some better abilities from the line. Shooting just 52% from the foul stripe, but 2 knocked down there by Boyd, and crowd wanted to travel from O'Brien, didn't get it. Roberson goes inside to O'Brien. He got his shot blocked by Monroe and grabbed and pushed up the floor quickly. Here's Charles Mitchell. Kicks it out. Swing by Boyd around the arc. Sanchez walked with it. Took an extra step. And now a substitution comes in for UMass Boston as Dason Sinelli sees his first time on the floor here in this one. He'll replace Charles Mitchell coming out of the contest. Sanchez, they're trying to pester Tank Roberson. We saw this a lot from Sanchez through these first 4 games for UMass Boston, especially in that opener against Bridgewater State. O'Brien a 3, no good. Out of bounds, it stays with Castleton. But Sanchez applying a lot of great ball pressure, and he'll go full court man-to-man, will Coach Jason Harris, and Alex Sanchez has been tasked with trying to stop Tank Roberson. That pass was kicked on its way in to its intended target, Eli Lombardi. Roberson inbound, gets it to O'Brien. Roberson off the screen. Pull-up jumper from the elbow, no good. Tipped around, grabbed, kicked out. He'll try a 3. That one goes home. Tank Roberson hits it, and Castleton back within 1. Castleton trying to, again, they've been able to claw their way back a few different times in this first half. Just having been able to get over the hump and tie this thing up. Monroe jumps in the air, wild pass taken away by O'Brien. O'Brien towards the rim, lays it up, and that's going to be a blocking foul on Boyd, and that one might have been clean, but Boyd was inside the restricted area, and he'll pick up the foul and send O'Brien to the line. Chris O'Brien, senior out of East Providence, in his final campaign. First free throw is no good. One of the only players from Rhode Island on this Castleton team. Second free throw's up and good. And now a substitution as Eric Shaw, the sophomore out of Sutter Creek, California, that'll check in. Long way from home for Eric Shaw as they go inside to Hill, back out, swinging around. Boyd gonna try a 3, no good. There's Lord Kent though on the offensive board. Goes up, he's blocked. Battle for the loose ball, taken away Almeida. Gets it to Roberson, threw it away. A bit too long for Tank Roberson, and immediately head coach Paul Colpo just put his hands up as to say, let's slow it down. A timeout is on the floor. He'll have a chance to talk about it. Castleton in front by 1 on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Welcome back to UMass Boston. Lucky fan going to go home with a t-shirt. He's able to knock down a couple of shots and some hot shooting on the UMass Boston side of the floor. As it's a 1-point advantage for Castleton. UMass Boston, though, opened up the lid early. Had success early in this game. For that first media, it was all UMass Boston through the first couple of minutes. Sanchez swings it. They go inside Lorquette. Lorquette goes up and finishes. Finished right in front of Shaw. Lorquette was trying to take that up with two hands and maybe put that one down, but just decided to lay it up instead. Good double team by UMass Boston. Swing it to the corner. Here's a three, and that one falls home. Three-pointer is good there from LaCours. To the near side wing, back up top. Go inside, Javaris Hill lays it home. So Hill with the bucket. And back and forth we go offensively between these two sides. That was the story coming in, where both these teams very evenly matched, as that one is missed by Roberson and out of bounds, and Roberson knocked it out of bounds, not off the hand of Boyd. It'll go back to UMass Boston. And Charlie Mitchell will head back in. He'll replace Javaris Hill. Up top to Boyd. Sanchez back out. Boyd penetrates. That one knocked away from Sinelli. Skip pass to Mitchell. They go inside Lorquette. Kick back out, Sanchez a three. No good, rattles in and out, and a foul is going to be called on Sinelli. And that time it was Lombardi trying to block out there. And the foul going to go there on Sinelli. That's his first personal. And now Roberson gets the basketball. Both teams shooting north of 46%. Castleton at 54 so far on the night. That one knocked away by Sanchez, but kept by Shaw. Shaw, he's going to try a three, and he bangs it home. Eric Shaw with a three-pointer, and Castleton is up by three. Castleton now 3 of 5 from beyond the arc to start this game. Here's a jumper by Mitchell. That one doesn't go, and Lorquette going to pick up the foul on the over the back for UMass Boston. That's Lorquette's first personal. Here with about 9 minutes to go, the Beacons now have totaled 4 fouls in this first half. To Castleton's just 2. Roberson quickly gets it inside. That shot got blocked by Carter. Penetration by Shaw, kicked out to Lombardi. Handoff to Shaw. Trying to get an open look for a three and couldn't. Swings it to Calvin Carter. Back out Roberson with 5 on the shot clock. Turns down the screen and floats and scores. 5-point lead now for Castleton, and the hot shooting continues for the team in green. Sanchez tried to swing it. Carter knocked it away. And Mitchell has to chase it all the way down. Now 10 on the shot clock. Boyd gives it off Mitchell. Down the lane. Fouled. And one for Mitchell. Charlie Mitchell on the finish. And it's a 3-point game as Mitchell is able to put it home. So now a couple of substitutions come in, as Charles Mitchell will check in. And also Julius Goins will check in as well, the freshman forward. He'll replace Sinelli. Free throw is no good and grabbed by Shaw. So now Roberson will try and get this ball across with Charlie Mitchell pestering. Hand off to Carter. Good defense by Boyd. Mitchell there battling, and he gets the basketball. Charlie Mitchell gives it off to Goins. Goins inside to Lorquette. Had it knocked away, kicks it out. Charles Mitchell a three, and he got it. The Beacons tie it up on the big three-pointer from Charles Mitchell, and a transition basket off of a turnover. Foul goes on Charlie Mitchell, and the Beacons, after tying the game, will have a timeout. So a timeout on the floor, 7:47 to go here in this first half, and the UMass Boston Beacons knotted up with the Castleton Spartans on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Elijah Gonzalez here with you. UMass Boston tied at 23 between the UMass Boston Beacons and the Castleton Spartans. And again, during this first half, it's been Castleton's hot shooting through this first half to give them the lead early. There already been 3 lead changes in this game. Castleton shooting 57% from the field, but how about this? 67% from beyond the arc. And that three-pointer that came from Charles Mitchell was the first one. UMass Boston sitting at just 16% from beyond the arc. Mitchell picking up the first one for the Beacons as Roberson misses the jumper. And now Charles Mitchell will bring it up the floor. They find Boyd, goes inside to Goins in the short corner, and a great play by Goins after he almost lost it out of bounds. Able to throw it off Calvin Carter. And Charlie Mitchell will check out. Alex Sanchez back in. Looking inbound is Charles Mitchell, and he just gets it in ahead of the 5 count. Hill can't get it to go. Goins tries to go up, and we'll have a jump ball. It'll go to Castleton. Goins tried to go up, had it hit as he was going up. And the referee saw it, calls the jump ball. Roberson. Quickly towards the rim, lots of speed for Tank Roberson. And Maroka traveled with it. So Ben Maroka, guy who we highlighted his free throw percentage, but also from beyond the arc, he's a guy that can shoot it as well for Castleton. They quickly jump into a zone here. Try to go into the high post. Kick, cross court. Three-pointer, Sanchez, no good. Grabbed by Hill, and he goes up and scores. Offensive rebounding for UMass Boston, highlighted at the top as a key in tonight's ball game. And they've done that a few times on the offensive glass. Roberson spins, kicks it out. Shaw, he penetrates baseline, goes up and scores. Good move by Eric Shaw. He's now got 5 in the ball game. To the corner, Sanchez inside. Great feed to Hill, and he puts it in. So Javaris Hill starting to rack up some buckets down low. Roberson, pull-up jumper. No good. Rebound grab by Hill. Here comes UMass Boston quickly. Sanchez back to Charles Mitchell. Mitchell, hesitation, throws it inside to Goins. Had it knocked away. Back out Sanchez. Sanchez to Boyd. Boyd thought about the 3. Pulls it down instead. Kicked out of bounds by Carter. Substitutions coming in for both sides. A couple of guys coming in for their first time. Michael McCoy, the freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina, checks in for UMass Boston, Dayson Sinelli. To the corner, penetration, going up and scoring there is Charles Mitchell. So Mitchell with the bucket. And now they give it to McCoy. He'll try and break this full court press. Quick double team there by UMass Boston. Inside kick out Maroka. Money. Ben Maroka knocks down another. He's got 2 3-pointers already here tonight. Showing his ability to stretch the defense as a big man. To the corner. Back to the corner to Sanchez. He penetrates inside to Goins. Had it knocked away, and it's kicked out of bounds by Maroka. Might have been an accidental kick there, but nonetheless, it will stay with UMass Boston. And 20 seconds remain on the shot clock. That one skipped back out. Sinelli thought about the three, gives it off. Here's a three now by Sinelli, no good. Chases his own miss. And on the floor, Goins was out of bounds. Goins tried to keep it in, but was on the line. And now for this Castleton team coming up the floor, they're shooting 71% from the three-point line to start this game. Here's Maroka. Hands it off to Roberson, almost lost it out of bounds there. Roberson towards the rim, we got an offensive foul. And that one is gonna go on Eli Lombardi. That's Lombardi's second personal for Castleton. And that time, Roberson was trying to head towards the basket. And Lombardi set a screen that, not sure if he actually needed to set. But regardless, it goes the foul on Castleton. Three-pointer from Charles Mitchell is no good. And Carter gets it to Roberson. They work it up the floor. Tank Roberson double team. Skip pass. Now inside Lombardi. He's blocked from behind, but a foul is called on Goins. Jason Harris was not happy with that last foul by Goins. That is now their 6th team foul, as Lombardi will go to the line and shoot 2. So the next foul, that puts Castleton in the 1-1 the rest of the way. Free throws up and good. And Mark Monroe will check in for Charles Mitchell. Well, now we'll check in for Goins. Mitchell went out, thought it was him. So Goins goes out. Free throws up and good from Lombardi, and it's 30-29. Castleton back in front. Nunez seeing some action here with the basketball and gets it in the high post to Hill. He tried to find Monroe, went off his hands. Now here's Charles Mitchell inside to Monroe. Monroe goes up strong and scores with a foul. Monroe, we talked about his field goal percentage coming in over 60%. And there he's able to put it home for his first points of the ball game. So Monroe now to the foul line. And his free throw is up and good. So UMass Boston, after coming in, they struggle at the free throw line. So far, they've shot over 80% from the free throw line so far tonight. They hand it off to Roberson. Tried to go inside to Lombardi. He was tipped away, but it'll stay with Castleton. And a timeout now on the floor as UMass Boston, they lead by 2. So we'll step aside on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. I'm Elijah Gonzalez. UMass Boston in front 32-30. And the UMass Boston women's team getting a big win over top the Castleton Spartans earlier in the evening. An overtime victory, 63-52. And Coach Ball's team did a terrific job in the overtime frame. Were absolutely dominant during that stretch. And now it'll be Castleton. It will have the basketball underneath their own basket. And Roberson will inbound it. He gets it in. Here's a three on the way. That one off the back rim, no good. And the miss comes from LaCours, who already had 1 3. Very rare miss by Castleton in this game. Now 5 for 8 from beyond the arc. Nunez goes down to the corner in low. And Monroe tries to score, can't get there. Rebound by Hill. He's fouled going up. Javaris Hill has been absolute force on the board so far for UMass Boston. For Hill, that is now rebound number 3 in this ball game. He's got 10 points already, and the first free throw's up and good. Substitutions coming in. It's Richard Walker and Almeida that will come in. Igor Almeida, one of the international players on this roster for Castleton. Next free throw is up and good. Castleton, of course, in their first season in the Little East Conference, spent last year in the NAC. Finished 9-9 overall in conference. Almeida tried to go inside, swung it to Roberson. Roberson down the lane, floats and scores. Nice bucket there by Tank Roberson. And this team goes as Tank Roberson goes. So far this year, that's been the story. Nunez skip pass to Mitchell. Right back to Nunez now. In the high post, Hill. Nice feed down low, big man to big man, and a bucket for UMass Boston. And Mark Monroe now 2 for 2 from the floor on the night. Here's McCoy. Tried to push off of Mitchell, and now it's taken away by Hill. Hill towards the rim and slams it home with the left hand. Quickly the other way comes Castleton. They lay it in and score. Not getting back in transition, but Javaris Hill, the big left-handed flush for UMass Boston. Got the crowd going early. And now a 38-34 lead, though, here in this first half. Javaris Hill leading the way, 14 points for UMass Boston. Sanchez 3. Off the rim, no good, and it stays with UMass Boston. Javaris Hill was eyeing that dunk from about the 3-point line into the basket. He knew the entire way what he was planning on doing. And LaCours didn't want any part of that. Towards the rim goes Charles Mitchell. They skip it to Nunez. Back to Boyd, swung around the arc. Michael Boyd, pump fake again. 15 on the shot clock. Boyd penetrates, floats, and scores. Michael Boyd with a nice move there. And again, Boyd didn't give them a lot of production in their win over Bridgewater State early in the year, but saw a lot of other guys produce offensively. Roberson tried the 3, no good. Grabbed by Michael Boyd, and they push it the other way. Boyd gets it back up top. Off the screen, now hands it off. Mitchell back to Boyd. He's got an open look at a 3, no good. That one grabbed by Roberson. Here comes the other way for Castleton. Nice pass to Walker, and he scores. Richard Walker down low. Puts it in, and it's back to a 4-point game under a minute to go here in the first half. It's been back and forth so far between Castleton and UMass Boston. Coach Harris's team, though, with the lead as we approach the end of the first half. Monroe inside. Spins off. Can't get that one to go. Good defense there by Almeida. Roberson gets the basketball and quickly was told to slow it down by Coach Culpo. To the top of the arc, LaCours. And we'll get an offensive foul on Richard Walker. He was battling down low with Mark Monroe. And they're going to call the push-off on Richard Walker. It's a 30-second timeout here by UMass Boston. So Jason Harris will have a chance to draw up a play out of this timeout. But the Beacons have the 4-point lead, and it's in large part to the 14 points that have come off the left hand of Javaris Hill. 6 of 9 from the floor in this game already, with 3 rebounds in the contest to go along with his 14 points. Also helping carry the team, Charlie Mitchell with 6, Charles Mitchell with 5. And Boyd starting to heat up a little bit. He has 4 on the evening. For Castleton, it's been a slew of guys that have gotten in the mix. Tank Roberson with 7, Eric Shaw with 8, Richard Walker also with 7 as well, and then a couple of threes for Castleton. And they're more than likely going to end this half shooting well over 50% from beyond the arc. That's a number that coming in they were not as efficient in, just shooting about 31% in the first half. But UMass Boston has countered that with 47% from the floor and 87.5% from the foul line. Boyd gives it off, Mitchell. Swung around the arc here. 4 seconds now on the clock. Boyd penetrates, kicks it out. Mitchell a 3 at the buzzer, no good. So UMass Boston is going to lead by 4 as we head to the break. The Beacons with a late push in the end of that first half, and they're able to take the lead as we head to the half. We'll step aside, we come back, we'll talk with head coach Jason Harris, have some highlights, as well as our Beacon Spotlight here at the halftime break. UMass Boston 40, Castleton 36 on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
What do we mean when we say UMass is here for a reason? We mean that the 5-campus UMass system is the only public research university that the people of Massachusetts established to create better futures for themselves, but also for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as a whole. It's a university that educates 73,000 students every day and graduates 17,000 graduates every year. We are the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We're one of the state's 3 major academic research engines: research that saves and improves people's lives, and research that drives the innovation economy of Massachusetts. We provide services and economic opportunity to every region of the Commonwealth. The noted historian David McCullough once said that 2 great concepts, university and Massachusetts, come together in only one place, and we are very aware of how fortunate we are to bear the name, the University of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Beacons on the track! Beacons on the track!
My name is Tyler Hart.
Beacons on the track!
Being on the track and field team here is great decisions I've made besides coming to UMass Boston. When you train together in that sort of intensity, you build a sort of a bond with people who are training with you. You know, it's like a higher level of friendship. It's like teammates, it's just a different level. My freshman year.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. At halftime, UMass Boston in front by a score of 40-36, and now I'm joined by Coach Harris. And Coach, let's start with your team in that first half, and one guy individually that stood out, Javaris Hill, a very solid first half. What did you like from him on both ends of the floor?
Offensively, I like his patience. Defensively, I was not a big fan of his attention to detail and locating shooters, and that's part of it. That's part of it, man. He's going to give us some good things and some freshman things on the other end, but he's got to focus on the other end. Offensively, he's fine. I mean, you see him out there, he's fine. Defensively, he just needs work.
And Coach, for Castleton, they come out shooting the ball at about 55% from the three-point line. You mentioned attention to detail defensively. Do you think that needs to get better in the second half for your group?
What do you think? I would agree so. 55% for them that's insane. That's insane. We're not going to win this game if they shoot 55% again. We took 12 threes and only 7 free throws, so that's got to flip-flop for us, for us to get back in the winning column.
All right. Thank you very much, and best of luck in the second half. That's Coach Jason Harris of the UMass Boston Beacons. It's now time for our Beacon Spotlight as Kevin Nunez joins us to talk about his time and his journey to get here to UMass Boston. Step aside on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Mount Ida was a bit of a roller coaster experience, you know, had it up and downs. It was pretty fun playing with a group of guys that were a lot older than me, mostly all seniors, and just getting experience from them, playing in, you know, my first conference games over there, and being away from home for the first time ever. And it was a bit hard finding out that Friday morning that, you know, they'll be closing down and having to find a new school to go continue my basketball career at. Well, it was sent out in an email right before I was heading to class that unfortunately we've been bought out and that they were going to be canceled classes for the next week. So it was a bit hard, especially for the other freshmen, especially because they weren't from around, so they didn't know where to go after that or what to do. But they did a good job, you know, trying to get us to get us to talk to as many schools as we can and see what was the best fit for us and just being there for us in every step. I chose to, you know, become a Beacon because I have like one of my two of my closest friends on the basketball team, so I thought it would be fun to reunite with them and compete. All summer long, I didn't stop hearing it. They're telling me this will be the best fit for me, playing with them again, and you know, being able to compete for a league, for the conference title, and just playing with them and having fun again like we did in high school. And that just made me, you know, want to come here and not want to be away anymore and just play for my city and play for my home, which is right across the street. It's pretty amazing, you know, playing 4 years of high school with them and then now continue my college career playing with them. It's pretty fun because I know where their hot spots are. I know what they like. I know what they don't like. So, you know, it's pretty fun, and, you know, I could get them going really easy as well. They could do for me. Say the college life, you know, this is a lot bigger than Mount Ida was. Mount Ida was closed, so everybody knew everybody here. You know, I see people I'd never seen before one day, and, you know, I'll see somebody and then never see them again. So it's a lot harder, but it's also fun, you know, the experience, meeting a lot of new people.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Elijah Gonzalez here with you as UMass Boston has a 40-36 lead here at the halftime break. You just heard head coach Jason Harris talk about his team and what he liked offensively, but a little bit of lack of attention to detail defensively, and it's caused Castleton to be shooting 55% from beyond the arc here to start this ball game. Let's take a look at some of the numbers, and we mentioned the successful shooting for Castleton as well in this one. But for UMass Boston, also shooting 46% from the field. From the three-point line, though, only 8% for UMass Boston, although they haven't shot a ton of threes. And as he mentioned, he said they need to get to the foul line a little bit more. 86% from the foul stripe for UMass Boston, but just 7 free throws in that regard as well. For the Beacons, they are getting out-rebounded in this game. That's a very rare statistic for UMass Boston, that they are out-rebounded in contests. They have turned the ball over just 5 times, and they have forced 14 turnovers already in this game by Castleton. Of course, the majority of those came early in the contest. The points off turnovers, though, haven't created a ton of those. It's been back and forth for UMass Boston here in this game. We talked about the points off of those turnovers, and for UMass Boston, they've got 17 to Castleton's just 7, but still 14 turnovers. Might want to have more than 17 points, and Coach Jason Harris said they need to get better on the defensive end and play a little bit more attention to detail as well. Well, the team leaders in this game for UMass Boston as well as for Castleton, and of course it's been the Javaris Hill show, 14 points on the game. Charlie Mitchell's helped out with 6, but it's really been Javaris Hill that's led the way for UMass Boston. On the flip side, Castleton, their leader Eric Shaw has led the way in points for this Castleton bunch. Of course, a couple of threes for Shaw in this one, and then a couple of buckets down the stretch. But Roberson has done a terrific job as well. And then on the glass, it's been Almeida and Carter that have had a couple of good offensive rebounds. And the leader in assists in the Little East Conference in Tank Roberson, he also has 3 on the game for the Castleton Spartans. So right on his way to his 7 assists a game number that leads the Little East Conference. Well, it's time we take a look at some of the halftime highlights here from the Clark Athletic Center. UMass Boston leading 40-36. Goes into the high post to Walker. Swinging around, and there's a turnover. Other way comes Charlie Mitchell, lays it in. Beautiful move with the left hand by Hill. And now a steal by Sanchez. He puts it in and scores. They get it to Tank Roberson. Kicks it out. Almeida, 2-pointer, got it. A deep elbow, no good. Tipped around, grabbed, kicked out. He'll try a 3. That one goes home. Knocked away by Sanchez, but kept by Shaw. Shaw, he's going to try a 3, and he bangs it home. Gives it off Mitchell. Down the lane. Fouled. And 1 for Mitchell. Goings inside to Lorquette. Had it knocked away. Kicks it out. Charles Mitchell a 3. And he got it. Quick double team there by UMass Boston. Inside kick out Maroka. Money. Ben Monroe hands. Now here's Charles Mitchell inside to Monroe. Monroe goes up strong and scores with a foul. Here's McCoy. Tried to push off of Mitchell, and now it's taken away by Hill. Hill towards the rim and slams it home with the left hand. Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Elijah Gonzalez here with you. At the halftime break is the UMass Boston Beacons. They lead it by a score of 40-36 over top of the Castleton Spartans. We take a look around the Little East Conference and the games that are going on right now as we speak, and Eastern Connecticut State and Western Connecticut State doing battle there at Western Connecticut State. 42-30, 39 lead for Eastern Connecticut State. Keene State, a surprise as they trail at the half against Rhode Island College. Keene State, one of the better teams in the conference, and of course have leading scorer Ty Nichols at 27.8 points per game. However, they just put up 44 points in that first half of action in Southern Maine. They are tied at the half with Plymouth State at 35 in that one. We take a look also around Beaconville as the UMass Boston women's team, they pick up the win, as you might have seen right here on the Beacon Broadcast Network, a 63-52 win. The women's hockey team, they'll, as we mentioned before, head to Castleton on Friday. Men's ice hockey team, their successful season will hopefully continue as they travel to Curry College on Friday night, and they will take on Curry College on the road. Then the indoor track and field, that one will be at Plymouth State for the Plymouth State Winter Classic that will start on Saturday. So a couple of different teams that will go on and go around the New England area. The women's hockey team at Castleton, they'll head up to Vermont. And the men's hockey team, they'll travel just down the road to Curry College to take on the Colonels. So we'll step aside. We come back. We'll have the second half for you right here on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Elijah Gonzalez here with you. We take a look ahead at what UMass Boston has coming up, and of course, this is a stretch of their schedule where they'll have a couple of games coming up where they will have those games go on, and then they'll have a break prior to the new year as well. So UMass Boston going to get a break for exams as well as the Christmas holiday, so they will have that, and that one will come up here in just a few weeks as well. So UMass Boston, they'll have a couple of games that will come before the holiday season starts, but for UMass Boston, they lead here by a score of 40-36, and they lead the Castleton Spartans coming in off the road, and for Castleton, 55.6% from the three-point line and also 56% from the field in the first half as well. UMass Boston, they are shooting just 44% from the floor, and they are shooting just now 8% from beyond the arc, 1 for 12 on the evening. However, for UMass Boston, they're shooting 87.5% from the free throw line. Still only shot 8 free throws in that first half, did the UMass Boston Beacons. So definitely wanting to up that number, but one number that Coach Harris could be happy with, the 5 turnovers in this game for UMass Boston as well. So we're just about set as the Beacons will break their huddle, and we will get underway for the second half of action between UMass Boston and Castleton. On the floor for Castleton, it'll be the same guys that started this game, including Shaw, Carter, Roberson, along with Walker and I believe that would be Maroka. UMass Boston, pretty much the same faces as well to start the second half. Charlie Mitchell goes to Sanchez, down in the corner to Charles Mitchell. Cross-court pass. Back up top, Sanchez. High post, Lorquette towards the lane. Can't get it to fall. No foul was called there, and Maroka was looking for it, but didn't get it nonetheless. Roberson towards the rim, blocked. Lorquette picks up a block. He's averaging just over a block a game, and gets his first of the evening. So the referee, a little delay as he had to go chase down that basketball. And the inbound set to come from Roberson. He inbounds. That one is blocked and grabbed there by Lorquette. A foul is going to be called on Shaw. So Shaw picks up the personal. That'll be the first team foul for Castleton here in this second half. Foul trouble hasn't really plagued either team here in this contest. Just Richard Walker, who had 2 fouls, and Lombardi, who had 3, but Lombardi, a guy that plays a lot of minutes and kind of eats up those minutes that you would need him to in the first half. Javaris Hill inside, can't get it to roll. And Maroka comes away with the miss. Quickly up the floor, great pass by Roberson, but not being able to finish there was Walker, and now quickly comes UMass Boston the other way. Here's a 3 on the way, Charles Mitchell, no good, back rim. 1 for 13 now are the Beacons from beyond the arc. Offensive rebound, though, they came to Hill. UMass Boston has another possession. Mitchell skips, back out top. Goes inside to Lorquette, back out. 10 on the shot clock. Mitchell around the defender, floats and scores. How about that? A terrific floater there from Charles Mitchell. And UMass Boston stretches the lead to 6. Roberson off the screen. Inside they go to Walker. Turnaround is good. Richard Walker starting to get going maybe in the second half. He had a pretty quiet first half. Was 3 for 3, 7 points, but again, didn't get a lot of touches inside. There, Lorquette tries to go up and he's fouled. We'll see who they get it on. Might have got it on Maroka. Yes, they did. So Ben Maroka picks up the foul. And for Maroka, that is now his second personal. And Lorquette will go to the line. UMass Boston shot very well from the free throw line the first half, and Lorquette rattles home number 1 here in the second. Lorquette's second free throw no good, but an offensive rebound by Mitchell, and he keeps it alive, and he'll get the basketball back. A great play as he took it out of the hands of Maroka, and then he threw it off Maroka. Inbounds to Alex Sanchez. Sanchez looking to come off the screen, instead gives it off. Mitchell out to Hill, and now swing to Sanchez. Trying to go inside. Here's Hill spinning and lays it in. Good finish by Javaris Hill, and the numbers continuing to pile up. 16 points now for Hill. Offensive foul on Tank Roberson. A terrific job by Sanchez as he took the hit. And UMass Boston will now bring the basketball up after the offensive foul on Tank Roberson. Back out. UMass Boston swinging it around the arc here in the zone. Sanchez lost the basketball, tapped it to Hill, who scores. 18 points for Javaris Hill, and the ball finding him like a magnet. That one just kind of tipped right to his hand. Here's Shaw for 3, no good. That one tracked down by Charles Mitchell. Up the floor he comes quickly. Mitchell kicks it to the corner, back out Charles, back to Charlie. And they'll dribble it back out. Mitchell out to Sanchez. Sanchez gives it off. 12 on the shot clock. Mitchell off the screen, gives it off Javaris Hill. Hill inside pass to Lorquette. 1 on the shot clock. Did he get it off? He did. It can't fall home. He grabs his own miss. And they kick it to the corner. Sanchez back to Charlie Mitchell, a 3. No good, and an offensive foul is going to go here on Charles Mitchell. Well, they're going to get it on Lorquette. So Lorquette battling down low with Eric Shaw. And he picks up the offensive foul, and now a steal by Sanchez. Sanchez to Javaris Hill. He lays it in and scores. Hill with 20 points, and it's an 11-point lead for UMass Boston. Timeout on the floor, and a full timeout going to be taken here by head coach Paul Colpone. UMass Boston stretches the lead. It's now 11 as we step aside on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. UMass Boston has stretched their advantage to 11. They've opened the half with a very impressive stretch. Castleton went into the break trailing by 2. UMass Boston has opened the half on a 9-0 run. 9-2 run. And the Beacons have gotten the scoring and the offensive presence from big number 2, Javaris Hill, as he soared through the air on that last layup after the pass by Alex Sanchez. Hill an efficient 9 for 13 from the floor in this game as well. Coach Harris said his team needed to lock in defensively. Well, how does a 9-2 run to start the second half sound for Coach Harris? As Walker gives it off, and now almost getting a steal there with Sanchez. Roberson goes inside. Walker had it knocked away from him. He's got his dribble on the floor, and now Lorquette picks up the foul, and Coach Harris threw his hands up as to say, why bail him out? 7 seconds on the shot clock will now reset. Another timeout on the floor. UMass Boston leading by 11 on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. A lot to cheer about for UMass Boston. They've got a 11-point lead here in the second half. Still early with 15:39 to go in the contest. But UMass Boston has come out red hot in the second half of action, and Castleton only totaled just the 2 points so far in this half. And now Castleton will work with the basketball, and again, Lorquette bailed him out with the foul. So they got a reset of the shot clock, and it's now down to 9 again. They go inside to Walker. Monroe defending there, and there's Hill skying for the rebound. Charles Mitchell gives it off to Charlie. He thought about the three. They go inside to Javaris Hill, and he scores again. How do you stop that? 22 points for Javaris Hill. Quickly in transition goes Walker, and he's fouled as he goes crashing into the UMass Boston signs behind the basket. And now Walker will go to the line to shoot. But the Beacons, again with another bucket from Javaris Hill. 22 points now for Hill in this one. And here's the free throw up and no good from Richard Walker. Well, Javaris Hill, freshman out of Lynn, Massachusetts, for this UMass Boston Beacons squad. The second free throw is up and good by Richard Walker. Now Sanchez just has to get it across the half-court stripe. He does. UMass Boston goes inside. Why not? And there's a great pass from Hill to Monroe. So not only doing it with his scoring ability, but uses the vision there. Javaris Hill racks up another assist. Go inside, Richard Walker. Walker floats and scores. And it's now back to a 12-point game. Been a while since this Castleton team had scored, and Walker's got the last three for Castleton. Into the high post, back out to Mitchell. Skip pass to Sanchez, has to sky for it. Great pass inside, Javaris Hill can't get that one to fall. There's a rare miss by number 2 in white. And now the other way comes Castleton. Tank Roberson lost the basketball, and out of bounds it goes. UMass Boston gets back possession. Yet another turnover here by Castleton. And now quickly up the floor comes Charlie Mitchell. Mitchell kicks it out, Charles. Back over. Now Charlie Mitchell thought about the three, instead he holds it. Javaris Hill goes high post. Back out Sanchez. 12 on the shot clock. To the corner, Charles Mitchell a three. And he's got it. Charles Mitchell knocks it down. And UMass Boston stretching their lead, and that was a big three-pointer for this UMass Boston team. Just their second three-pointer of the night. Roberson to the rim, and he scores. That time it was Hill. Thought about taking the charge, but also saw he was in the restricted area. Probably would have been called a block either way. Back to Charlie Mitchell. Charles back out to his brother. Now here's Mitchell. He'll try it again. That one missed everything. And that one grabbed by Carter, but taken away again by Hill. Hill shoots it, and again, he missed everything, and now the shot clock violation. I don't think Javaris Hill realized where the shot clock was. He thought that when he grabbed that basketball and the shot clock reset. But the referee, he said that Castleton didn't have enough possession to warrant a reset of the shot clock. So now McCoy will bring it up the floor as Tank Roberson takes a well-deserved rest. He's been busy trying to bring that basketball up the floor. This one taken away. The other way comes UMass Boston. Charlie Mitchell lays it in. The Beacons getting out and run, and that time able to do so via their guards. And their guards are applying some pressure defensively. This is exactly what Coach Jason Harris wanted to see in the second half. A little more attention to detail, and I'll tell you what, it looks like they've put it on. Almeida trying to go towards the rim, and we got a foul that goes on Michael Boyd. So Dason Sinelli will come in. And also coming in is Kevin Nunez. They'll replace Sanchez and Monroe. About 12 minutes to go, so our next whistle will be immediate timeout. This one goes out to O'Brien. O'Brien pulls it back out. Hands off to McCoy. 10 on the shot clock. McCoy, step back jumper, good. Michael McCoy comes in for Roberson. Roberson, guy who does a great job of creating opportunities, but now here's McCoy, the backup point guard, heading towards the rim. Nice pass to Almeida, but an offensive foul. At that time, it was Charlie Mitchell that stepped in the way. Now, these referees are going to talk about it because I think Mitchell might have been in the restricted area, and it is a block. So Charlie Mitchell in the restricted area. They're going to call a block here, and now we will have our media timeout. Coach Harris not happy, but the UMass Boston Beacons in front by 13 on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Elijah Gonzalez here with you. UMass Boston in front by 13, leading 58-45. But Michael McCoy will be at the line to shoot. And not sure exactly why it was in fact called a shot, but McCoy will be at the free throw line because he did pass it for the block. And now McCoy's first free throw, it's up and no good. Castleton's free throw percentage has started to dwindle here in this game. Second one is up and good there from Michael McCoy. Now UMass Boston with a chance to try and stretch their lead. Javaris Hill having a seat on the bench. He's leading the way with 22. But Coach Jason Harris said, that's enough of you on the bench. He's at the scorer's table getting ready to check in. Sinelli goes up, he's fouled. And he'll head to the line for 2 shots. Jason Sinelli, one of the Boston Mass products that has come to this team. Sinelli, a junior. Free throw misses, no good. Of course, a couple of other players from the Boston area, and you heard from our Beacon Spotlight earlier in the night with Kevin Nunez. Talked about his time at Mount Ida College. Free throws up and good, and how he found out that that school was closing down. And of course, the process that got him here as a member of New Mission High School. The layup is no good by Carter, grabbed by Sinelli. And good friends with Charlie and Charles Mitchell. And they gave him a good recruiting pitch that brought Kevin Nunez to the Beacons. Here's Nunez inside to Hill. Hill goes up and puts it in. Javaris Hill can do no wrong here tonight. 24 points on 11 of 17 shooting. Roberson down the lane, he lost it. And up the floor quickly goes UMass Boston. Charlie Mitchell transition score. The lead continuing to grow for UMass Boston. Lombardi, though, in transition puts it in. And now a timeout is going to be taken here. It'll be a full timeout by Castleton. 63-48, UMass Boston in front. We'll step aside on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just a starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like the place that people want to go.
What UMass Boston is able to offer to its young people certainly stands out to that mission that was set right out in the beginning. It's something UMass Boston should be and can be very proud about.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. UMass Boston, they lead it by a score of 63-48. I'm Elijah Gonzalez, and the Beacons, their numbers are just continuing to grow in about every category. And one category that they have continuously produced in, turnovers. Now 19 for Castleton. They're turning them into points. Sinelli scores. Jason Sinelli with a bucket, and UMass Boston grows the lead once again. It's back up to 13. Here's a three, and that one's good for Michael McCoy. A spark that he's been off the bench for Castleton has kept him on the floor. Charlie Mitchell gives it off. Inside. Oh boy, Javaris Hill with the bucket. Hill now with 26, and I say he can do no wrong. That showing in why right there. Sinelli gets it up the floor quickly. Charlie Mitchell transition, lays it in. 69-51. And Javaris Hill has continued to pour in the numbers on the offensive end. And that last bucket that he had, just superb from Javaris Hill. Roberson to the rim, lost the basketball, it's out of bounds. It was tipped out, so it stays with Castleton. And now Charlie Mitchell will come out. Alex Sanchez checks back in. Gets a high five from his coach, Jason Harris, as he comes off. But right now, of course, this is the first meeting between these two teams. Starting to see what Coach Harris has liked about his bunch so far this year and how they've continued to grow. Here's the three, and that one is good there from Ben Maroka, who knocks it down. And Castleton still trailing now, but only by 14 here in this game, 50 I should say. Inside, spinning, Lorquette can't get it to go, and Richard Walker down on the deck. trying to get up here and just play through it. Lorquette goes up, and he'll put it in. And Richard Walker is in a lot of pain. Might have got twisted up. And so Walker will come out, and he'll have a replacement in Cameron Edwards, the forward, standing at 6'4", out of Williamsburg, Virginia. He'll check in for him. So Walker going to have to deal with what looks to be a lower leg injury. Couldn't tell exactly which one it was. They go inside, and now Almeida kicks it out. Maroka to the high post to Edwards, and bench scoring for Castleton as Edwards puts it in. Sanchez looking to go high post, instead gets it to Boyd. Boyd back to Sanchez, now it's inside to Hill. Out the entire green jersey converging on Hill. This time they give him space, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Right now, Javaris Hill is creating holes that aren't even there for UMass Boston, and he'll have a chance for two at the line. But not before a timeout. Javaris Hill, the leader and leading the way for UMass Boston. Beacons in front by a wide margin right here on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. UMass Boston, they lead it by a score of 71-56 here in the second half. And right now, Javaris Hill, he'll have a chance at 30 points right now at the free throw line. He's got 28 on the night. 13 of 19 shooting the basketball here this evening for Javaris Hill. First one's up and good. He's now 3 for 3 from the foul line. Go along with the 29 points, and that one missed by Nunez. Kick out to Boyd, swung to Hill. Hill pulls it back out himself. They're looking to go inside to Nunez. Sanchez penetrates baseline, finds Hill inside, and now he'll have a chance for two more at the line. These guards have created some chances. Done a good job of feeding the big men. Javaris Hill, Lorquette can also throw him in the mix. Hill's free throw, no good. So that 30-point mark, a little bit tougher to get than he might have liked. Javaris Hill now 3 of 5 from the free throw line. And there it is, point number 30 for Javaris Hill. Goins checks in for him. And Hill will have a seat after a very impressive offensive outburst from Javaris Hill. So Roberson will bring it up. Almeida with it. Skip pass, and that overshot everybody. Well, Coach Jason Harris stressed defense at halftime, and his team has continued to force turnovers, now 20-plus turnovers for Castleton. And they have had a tough time scoring here in the second half. Sanchez, cross court, into the corner to Nunez. And he was looking for Goins, but Goins went away towards the basket. Didn't realize that pass was coming. Roberson kicks it out. Now Roberson will try one from deep. No good. Rebound on the miss by Lorquette. Mitchell to Sanchez. Sanchez wanted to go baseline, but Almeida was there to cut it off. Bringing it back out. Here's Charles Mitchell. Waiting for that shot clock to dwindle down. Into the high post, they turn it over. Nunez just had to go right through his hands. Now Roberson. We'll have one more media timeout and an offensive foul. Nunez took the charge that time, and he drew the foul on Cameron Edwards. And Edwards has had to come in since the departure of Richard Walker. Big loss for Castleton. He had ice on that knee. Trying to jump around over there and stay loose. That one is out of bounds, and it will go back to Castleton. So the Spartans will, in fact, have the basketball, and they'll also have Richard Walker back on the bench after the injury. Here's a three from Mayoka. It's no good. So Maroka on the miss, and now the other way goes Sanchez. He can't finish with the floater. It's out of bounds. It will go back to Castleton. Lombardi set to check in for the Spartans. He'll check in for Cameron Edwards. And just like that, it was a very short-lived rest for Javaris Hill. So he comes in to replace Kevin Nunez. Into the basket is Roberson. Back out. Guarded tightly by Alex Sanchez. Roberson to the rim and scores. Good finish there by Roberson. And it's now down to 73-58. About 5 minutes to play here in Boston at the Clark Athletic Center. Inside Lorquette, we've got an offensive foul on Goins. Julius Goins that time tried to dump it off before he made that contact, but in fact could not. And now Charlie Mitchell will check in. So Roberson guarded tightly by Sanchez. Now he goes towards the rim, lots of contact, no call. And Lombardi had it knocked away, and that's going to be a foul on UMass Boston. It's going to go on Charles Mitchell. He threw his hand up right away as to say that one was on me. That's his first, and now both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way. So this one is going up, so it'll be 2 shots for Lombardi. Lombardi's free throw is good. And for UMass Boston, can't really take your foot off the pedal here because even with 5 minutes to play, it's a game that could change in a heartbeat. Castleton, though, not a team that will get out and run all that often. Free throw is good from Lombardi. Right now, throwing on some press here. Going with a 2-2-1 set. Try and slow down this UMass Boston attack. They get it to Hill. He kicks it out to Charles Mitchell. Here's a three. Short off the front rim. And now Roberson the other way. Goes to the corner. Maroka back out. Mitchell, baseline drive, no good. Rebound grabbed, and Lombardi can't get that one to fall. And grabbed by Hill. Hill gonna do it himself. Gets it to Goins, and he can't score it. Missed the layup. Trying to go with the left hand that time. Now Roberson with it. Roberson to the rim, he got tripped up, no call. Mitchell quickly up the floor the other way. Kicks it out to Charlie Mitchell. Boyd with it. Inside, here's Hill, left hand, and scores. Timeout is going to be taken by UMass Boston. This will just be a 30-second timeout, but 32 points for Javaris Hill tonight. And he's got UMass Boston in front by 15. And what an impressive performance by the freshman Javaris Hill. For Javaris Hill, a guy who came out of high school just a season ago. Graduated from Lynn High School in 2018. Earned all-star honors with the basketball team in his time as a member at Lynn High School. But he has been the workhorse and the vital part of this UMass Boston offense here tonight, and his teammates have been finding him in big ways. That one, probably one of his easier buckets of the night. And so now it'll be a inbound for Castleton. And Roberson going to be double teamed by the Mitchell twins, and well, they still get it in, but there's a back tap and a steal. So Charlie Mitchell and Charles Mitchell double teaming Roberson. They still got it in, but that was about all they got, as Charlie Mitchell came from the backside to take it away. Monroe in the short corner, back out, they swing it around. High post, Hill back out, Charlie Mitchell. He's got Charles wide open, three. No good. Tipped out though by Hill. Hill kicks it out. Boyd, pump fake. Charlie Mitchell holds it out. Javaris Hill swinging it around the arc here. They go high post. Hill, nice pass inside to Monroe, and he puts it home. The vision by Javaris Hill also on display tonight. 32 points and now three assists to add to his credit, with a 17-point lead for UMass Boston. Roberson there, defended by Mitchell, and a foul is going to be called as he reached in. So right now, UMass Boston really stretching this lead, and Castleton never really made a run in this second half. UMass Boston found a way to kind of hold them down and stifle them, and again, this was a Castleton team that shot 55% from the three-point line in the first half. They now shooting just 50% from beyond the arc. Still a good number, but they haven't made more than one here in this second half of action. And of course, they shot the ball at around 51%. Shot at about 56% in the first half, and now that's also dropped down to about 51%. The numbers here in the second half much more efficient for UMass Boston, and this one will be a charge on Javaris Hill. Lombardi stepped in to take the hit. Hill had Monroe open for a layup, but just ran into the contact too quickly. So 3:02 to go. UMass Boston, they still lead it by a score of 15. Kick out to the corner. Here's a three. That one is no good. Rebound is grabbed on the offensive glass by Carter. And then Monroe with a good block out there to not allow anything else. That was on the shot, Nate Gilchrist. That took that three from the corner. They swing it back out to Charlie Mitchell. Inside for Hill. Back out Boyd. UMass Boston trying to kill as much clock as possible here. To the corner, Mitchell. Penetrates, kicks it out. Boyd's got all the time in the world. He'll take a one dribble pull-up. It's no good. Offensive rebound. UMass Boston has done a terrific job on the glass, and they have started out rebound Castleton here in the second half. That one tipped off the hand of Carter. And Sanchez will check in for Charlie Mitchell. So Mitchell will have a seat. Still on the floor here is Javaris Hill. Again, for Hill, 32 points. That one he turns over. A rare mistake here tonight from Javaris Hill. Carter, penetration, nice pass to Lombardi, blocked by Monroe. Back out top. Gilchrist towards the rim, tried to throw it down with the right hand and missed. Grabbed by Monroe. But Nate Gilchrist trying to get up and throw that one down, and all he got was the MAC rim. 1:30 to play here in this contest. UMass Boston in command by 15. To the wing, Mitchell skips. Sanchez thinking about it, but why not? Let's go inside to Hill, and he can't get it to fall. Another rare miss there from Hill. Here's the jumper from Roberson. That one no good. Mitchell battling, and he's knocked to the deck by Lombardi. This could be number 4 on Lombardi. So Eli Lombardi will pick up number 4, and Charles Mitchell will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. UMass Boston in the bonus the entire rest of the way. And now we'll see a couple of substitutes come in. Zilu will check in, and he will replace Javaris Hill. So Hill's night more than likely done here, and it will end with a very positive stat line for UMass Boston. Free throw up and good from Charles Mitchell. Javaris Hill, 32 points, 14 of 21 from the floor, 4 for 6 from the foul line, to go along with 8 rebounds and 3 assists. And now we'll see another substitution as Yancey St. Germain will check in, and he'll replace Michael Boyd in the contest. Next free throw from Mitchell. That one is long and no good. Now pushed up the floor to Roberson. Under a minute to go here in the contest, and UMass Boston is going to walk out of here with a victory. That one is long and missed everything from Carter. And the Beacons will get their first Little East Conference win of the season. But UMass Boston didn't do it in the easiest of fashions. That one is thrown away by Zilu. Goes out of bounds, and now a substitution comes in again, as Charles Mitchell will have a seat, and R.J. Young, the freshman out of New Mission High School, will come in. First half a little bit sloppy for UMass Boston. Coach Harris challenged his guys to be a little bit more attentive on the defensive end, and they responded in the second half and did a terrific job against this Castleton offense. Foul's going to go on UMass Boston. It'll go here on Zilu. So Zilu picks up the foul. Charles Mitchell, the only other scorer besides Charlie Mitchell and Javaris Hill that's in double figures. Charles Mitchell with 11 points and Charlie Mitchell with 10. Free throw is up and good by Castleton. They only have 2 scorers in double figures, Tank Roberson and Richard Walker, 13 and 12 respectively. So the second free throw is up and good as well, and now a 14-point game, and this should do it. UMass Boston going to dribble out the clock, and the Beacons are going to come away victorious over top of the Castleton Spartans in their first ever meeting. The first Little East Conference win of the year for UMass Boston, and they win it here in the home opener. 5-2 now for UMass Boston on the year. They are now 1-2 in Little East Conference play. Castleton falls to 3-5 on the season, and they will fall to 0-3 in Little East Conference play. So UMass Boston, they get it done here at home. We'll step aside. We come back. We'll hear from head coach Jason Harris. We'll also break it down for you right here on the Beacon Broadcast Network.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
The UMass Boston Beacons baseball team, who went 23-15 this year, and have consistently been a leader in their conference without having a home field to play on. That will change next season.
I am so happy and excited to join Boston College High School and your wonderful president to celebrate this symbol of our institution's friendship as well as our shared commitment to this special neighborhood. Not only are we thrilled to be building a new ballpark with our neighboring teams and for all of our neighboring teams, but we could not be happier to provide more space. It's not just for us, Father Monin. It's for the youth of Dorchester and South Boston to be able to play as well. So your field will be used by quite a few of us for so many wonderful things.
But my hope is that the sound of the bat
that's so irresistible to us at Fenway Park. We'll echo it through this field, and we'll call further together the academic communities of BC High and of UMB, but especially that it will call together the youth.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. I'm Elijah Gonzalez, and I'm now joined by head coach Jason Harris. Coach, let's start with what you told me at the halftime break. You said to pay a little bit more attention to detail defensively. What were your thoughts on the second half performance defensively?
For the most part, I was happy with it. A couple of breakdowns, but they locked in and they took away the easy shots, and I'll take that. I'll take the effort in the second half.
You told me you liked the offensive performance out of Javaris Hill in the first half, just as good in the second half. Put up over 30 points tonight. What was the reason for his success tonight?
Well, he's probably rested from giving up 31, but you know what? He did a good job. Just playing at his own pace in the middle of the zone. We've been working the last couple days on just finishing, and Javaris was shooting in the 60s already. Javaris is a stud athlete at this level. So he played well, and the rest of the guys got him the ball in spots that he was going to succeed in, and he let the game come to him.
And Coach Castleton went a lot with that 2-3 zone. What did you like the team offensively being able to move the ball around in that 2-3 zone?
Well, I thought the second half we did a better job moving off the ball, passing and not staying in our spots, our traditional zone offense spots. Forced that zone defense to move a little bit, and like I said, that kind of opened up Javaris and everybody else in the middle. So, we'll take it.
And Coach, moving forward, obviously no perfect games at any point throughout the season. What are some things that you guys are going to work on moving forward, especially as Little East Conference play continues?
It's going to have to be more solid. We can't allow teams to shoot 60%. I know if we allow WestCon to shoot 60% on Saturday, we'll be down by 20 at half. So, it's every league game is going to be close, and you're going to have to win it a separate way. And so, we figure it out.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations here on the win tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. The UMass Boston Beacons, they get it done here at home as they pick up the win. We'll take a look at some of the highlights and then be back with more action here from UMass Boston on the Beacon Broadcast Network. Roberson towards the rim, blocked. And he picks up the offensive foul, and now a steal by Sanchez. Sanchez to Javaris Hill. He lays it in and scores. To the corner, Charles Mitchell a three. And he's got it. And bring that basketball up the floor. This one taken away. The other way comes UMass Boston. Charlie Mitchell lays it in. Grows the lead once again. It's back up to 13. Here's a three, and that one's good for Michael McCoy.
What's really unique, I think, here is that we're really encouraged to not just do research, but to do research that really improves people's lives and solves problems.
Society has really never had to deal with a problem as complex as dealing with climate change before.
Climate Ready Boston is our data-driven approach to climate change and how we can make sure the city of Boston is prepared for the next 100 years. By leveraging the expertise of UMass Boston and Paul and Ellen, we've been able to take the very best science on sea level rise and translate that into a vulnerability assessment. Really what we've relied on them for is their technical expertise and really helping us understand what the science is saying to help us understand what we need to do next, both from a policy perspective, but then also in terms of projects and financing as well.
UMass Boston actually has a long history of working on environmental problems. One of the earliest programs was working in the cleanup of Boston Harbor in the 80s, and that was actually the genesis for the eventual School for the Environment. We started this program in green chemistry, and we're the first university to offer a PhD in that. And then also the School for the Environment is now working in Nantucket and Gloucester and other places around the world.
I was giving a talk a couple of falls ago for this group it was called the CEO Summit, and I showed this map of South Boston where all the businesses are being built, and there was a gasp, a literal gasp in the audience when they saw that map, and it's like, you could tell that suddenly they realized this wasn't something that is like down the road. This is something we have to deal with now.
Some of my work has actually been cited in a Supreme Court decision. I've met with congressional committees. I've given testimony to the Massachusetts Senate as well as the U.S. Senate on this issue.
We want to make sure that we are on that leading edge of the research, and we know that UMass Boston is committed to these issues and committed to being a good part.
Welcome back on the Beacon Broadcast Network. UMass Boston they get the win here at home in the Little East Conference opener as they defeat the Castleton Spartans. Let's take a look at some of the numbers now for both these teams, and first we'll start with the UMass Boston Beacons, and of course a percentage of 47% shooting the basketball here tonight. Didn't shoot all that well from the three-point line, but were able to overcome it. Forced 23 turnovers in this game, and Coach Harris said at the end of the first half his team needed to pay better attention to detail defensively. They sure did that in the second half. This was a Castleton team coming in shooting about 55% from the field and about 57% from beyond the arc in that first half, and UMass Boston able to lock in and get that win and get it done 78-63 over top of the Castleton Spartans. Taking a look at some of the individual numbers now for both of these teams and some of the team leaders. You take a look, and it was all the way for UMass Boston. Javaris Hill, a very impressive night for UMass Boston. 30-plus points for Hill. For UMass Boston, they were able to get numbers as well out of Charlie Mitchell and Charles Mitchell, respectively. 10 points and 11 points, respectively, for those two guys. And then on the offensive end for UMass Boston, for Castleton, it was really the Tank Roberson show. He had double figures as well. Richard Walker also at double figures in the ball game for Castleton here tonight. So UMass Boston, they're able to get the win. We take one more look ahead at what the schedule comes ahead for UMass Boston. Western Connecticut State, they'll come up on Saturday. You heard Coach Harris mention that game. So they need to play better defensively against Western Connecticut State. It's a very talented group over there as well. Then they'll have a game against Emmanuel College and the Wentworth Institute. You can catch the game against the Wentworth Institute as well as that game against Emmanuel College right here on the Beacon Broadcast Network. So for our entire broadcast crew, I'm Elijah Gonzalez saying so long. Once again, the UMass Boston Beacons, they win it by a final score of 78-63. We thank you for tuning into our broadcast here in Boston. Once again, UMass Boston comes away victorious. Have a good night, everybody.